Realism. Realism stresses the world of nature or physical things and our experiences and perceptions of those things. It can also be seen as the way you look at the world and perceive it. The key terms of realism are natural law and scientific method. From the realist perspective, the world exists no matter if the human mind sees it or not. Some of the most famous realist philosophers to date include Aristotle, Francis Bacon, John Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau.
Dating back to 384 BC, realism was born with one of the oldest and most famous philosophers, Aristotle. Aristotle was born in Greece and lived from 384 BC to 322 BC. He wrote a variety of books that contributed to science today. Most of his ideas and beliefs are reflected in society and our classrooms. John Locke was an Enlightenment thinker that was born in 1606. He attended Oxford University on scholarship. John Locke believed that virtue is the most important part of education and is the key to obtaining happiness. Some of his most notable works were in the book Some Thoughts Concerning Education, which he published in 1693. Locke believed that the mind was a blank slate, that one experiences their ideas through their senses, then their mind. Thomas Jefferson was influenced by Locke's writings and philosophy. One of the most famous lines from the Declaration of Independence was influenced by Locke. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Along with John Locke, Rousseau was also an Enlightenment thinker who was born in 1712. Rousseau believed that you learned from your experiences and nature around you. As soon as you are born, the learning process begins. Rousseau explained these ideas in one of his most famous books focusing on education titled Emily. One of the key ideas that Rousseau focused on was natural learning, learning through experiences and observations. Rousseau believed that children should not be taught to read before age 12. Let's look closer at realism and how it influences teaching and curriculum planning. Applying this to the classroom, realism is seen in everyday work and schedules. Teachers will give students a lot of opportunities to learn about the natural world. It is the teacher's job to teach their students about the world around them. For example, if a teacher was planning on teaching a lesson about leaves and their characteristics, instead of bringing the leaves and materials into the classroom for observation, the teacher would bring the students outside for them to experience the nature and the world around them. The material that is taught should be taught in an organized way. There needs to be a strict structure on how teachers' lessons are being taught. Teachers want their students to figure out how they got to their answers, not just find the answer. Teachers should have the kids think critically through their observations. An example of this would be the scientific method. As teachers, we are expected to have knowledge of the content and needs of the students. Realists believe that children should learn from their mistakes through experiencing the consequences. For example, if a student forgets their permission slip for a field trip, the student stays behind while the class goes.